Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who's decided to watch this video. Today, I'm going to be rambling on about the Studio Series Deluxe Class Transformers 1 Megatron. Oh yes, the depiction of the franchise's head bad guy in one of the greatest films slash greatest versions of the origin story Transformers has ever told. Yep, he's here, the second deluxe class figure for the movie, the second studio series for the movie period, released a month after the movie was in theaters because they took way too long to be releasing the toys. We're not even getting most of the characters till next year, and most of them aren't in the mainline either. It's really upsetting. Really upsetting. I am not a fan of how they are handling the rollout of merch for this movie. And who knows how many characters we're even gonna get from it at this point. But we do got Megatron here, and he is of course a tank, as G1-inspired Megatrons tend to be, and yeah, it's not the best tank in the world. Transformers, I would say, hasn't really done a truly amazing tank in a long time. Probably not since Combiner Wars Megatron. But I don't know. Yeah, it's more about the robot mode with this guy, not the tank mode, which is a little upsetting because the tank is kind of a fun design. It's clearly got some influences from the Revenge of the Fallen look. Not shocking because this movie was animated and designed by all the same animators and artists who worked on Revenge of the Fallen, because it's the same studio that did the first 6 live-action movies. And yeah, because it's got the big treads coming out the front of it with the slope that coming from the big gray body with a turret that's all the way in the back of the tank. It's clearly not a one-to-one of the Revenge of the Fallen tank, but there's definitely some influences in there. And I love my Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, so it's kind of cool to see it reimagined as this hodgepodge between it and a more G1-y Megatron design. That is pretty fun. But, there's not much you can do with him because he's got no wheels like no tank Transformer has anymore, so he can't really do anything. He's got these extra guns on the side that you can mess around with if you want. His turret can go a full 360, and it's actually a separate piece plugged on with this little peg here on a port, which is the second time we have had something like that in the Studio Series. Interestingly enough, we had it with our Gamer Edition Sideswipe here, because his little back wings did the same thing, which is an interesting idea. I don't know why they keep doing it, but I'm curious to see how many characters will keep seeing this type of engineering system on for their vehicle mode / backpack pieces. Anyway, and that's basically all to say about the tank mode. It looks nice, but it is very simple, and it doesn't really flatten out the treads. He's a very wobbly piece. So, lastly, we'll just show him off next to his best buddy, Optimus Prime here. And yeah, the Optimus is definitely the more fun vehicle because he's got nice, slidey, very loud wheels. So he can just roll around, do all the fun stuff, and who doesn't love the 4 quad barrels at the front of their robot alien trucks? Yeah, so yeah, tank mode, very simple, very basic. Definitely not the best tank mode we have had on a Megatron, which is unfortunate. But yeah, now let's talk about the robot mode. Let's go! And here we go, and we gotta raise up a bit because this is a tall boy, a very, very tall Megatron, a very lanky Megatron, which is pretty true to how he looked in the movie. And you can see here already his knees very, very tight if you want them to be perfectly straight because they lock in for his transformation. So you mainly want to keep them just slightly bent a little bit. You're barely going to notice when you have him around in robot mode and you're just messing around with all the poses he can do. Also, fair warning, this rotation joint on mine is very, very loose. Very, very loose. So, yeah, that probably won't be happening on yours, but mine is got a bit of a weird arm. So yeah, he's definitely a figure. He can do all the action poses of a modern deluxe that are expected. His ankle tilt is a little limited, but you know, he can do everything you need him to. He can do all the crazy movements, whatever you want from your TF1 Megatron. No faction symbol on him. I don't know if that was to avoid spoilers or not, but nothing on the chest, nothing on the arm, even though there should be something on his chest, because this is definitely Megatron at the very end of the movie. You can tell because of his helmet design, but I don't know, this was probably definitely based on concept art when they weren't quite sure what they wanted all the evolutions of the characters to be, because there is some discrepancies about this being the final form Megatron when we get to his accessories. So we'll see the turret body here comes off from the cannon and goes back into the same port it was already in to become his backpack, which again, that does complete the look very nicely. And as for weapons, those extra guns he had on his side, you can have him holding those in his hands or put those on his arms so he can blast up stuff. If you like tiny guns on your Megatron, if not, but you don't want to lose those pieces, you can just plug them into the sides of the backpack, have them either dangling down so he can retain his more movie-accurate silhouette, or you can be silly and have them pointing up like an Onslaught style thing going on there, if you like the look of that. And as for his tank barrel, this is the biggest thing. You can pop that apart and you can either put this here into the backpack, which is a really tight connection on mine, so I'm not going to do it, or put it here to give him that extra little gun. Oh, that fell out. Give him that extra little gun he had on his arm, which I actually kind of liked the look of that. And then you can give him his fusion cannon, and then this is the big problem here, because this is supposed to look like final form Megatron, but this is his midway form fusion cannon, and I'll be real, I don't even really like the look of this cannon. I think it looked better on the midway form than it does here on this more final Megatron. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this look for the fusion cannon. I feel it's a little too dinky. I think the triple barrel blaster he gets in the actual film looks a lot better on this design for him. And it's probably because they weren't 100% sure where that goes on his tank mode, because his tank mode didn't really change, because they were probably waiting for a sequel to fully design it. But the Hasbro, someone in the higher-ups said, Megatron is more iconic than D16, make it Megatron. And, you know, I kind of get that, because D16 is a terrible name. I get it, it's a reference, it came from IDW, it's kind of cute that the movies used it, but you could make him the D16 design and just call the toy Megatron. It would have been fine, they're the same person. But yeah, So he's got his fusion cannons. He can blast stuff up and again get him in any poses you want. Have him inciting revolt. Decepticons, rise up! Rah! And yeah, he's okay. He's okay. I was really looking forward to this figure, both because I like the movie and I'm kind of glad that the majority of the characters from it are going to be deluxe class figures. Let's just bring in Optimus here for size comparison, because toys are just getting way, 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 way too expensive. So it's kind of nice that for the most part, our Transformers 1 cast are going to be sold at the normal price point. It makes it feel justifiable to start a new collection of TF1 toys. It's just I wish this Megatron was a little bit better. And I mean, Megatron hasn't had that many deluxes, but I don't know. I've liked the deluxe Megatrons we've had. In fact, how many have we had? I think we've only had 3, and out of those 3, I have 2 of them. I have the green tank one, and I like that one. It's a bit flawed, but I like it. I have the TF Prime one, and that one's great. And, well, this one is okay. He's just okay. As opposed to Optimus, who is really great. And Optimus tends to have good deluxe figures. I think some of the best Optimus Prime figures are deluxe class, actually. So, I don't know. Megatron is just sadly a bit of a step down, even though I do think he's a decent figure in his robot mode. It's mostly his tank mode that is upsetting. And if there was just a little something going on here, if he probably, I'm going to say it, you're not going to like hearing it, he might have been better in robot mode if he had some sort of action gimmick. I don't know what he could have had. Could have had like an action kick with his big old legs, maybe, or some kind of like launching a blast effect out of the cannon somehow. I don't know. Just thinking about it, he's good for display. Is he that great for play? No. Like, if you're looking for a Megatron to play with, you'll probably want to get the RID Overload, 2015 Overload remold. That one that can shoot out the Minicon, or get the one that's like a Rock'em Sock'em robot that comes in the 2-pack with Optimus. Like, this definitely ain't the Megatron for play, sadly. And, yeah, he's just okay. Just okay. And, yeah. Well, alright then. I guess I've been rambling on enough, so thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.
Greetings, human germs. It is I, Skywarp. Lord Megatron demands that you subscribe to this channel. If you do, then you may be spared from the Decepticon conquest of Earth. You would be wise to do as he says.